Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Crypto Matthews and I'm excited today to be deep diving into the project Bad Bears. Tony Marchuk is going to be joining us shortly to take on my questions about his project and where Bad Bears is going for the future. Let's jump over to Tony and see what he's got to say. Stay tuned. Hey Tony, welcome to my channel. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here and to find out more about you and Bad Bears. Maybe if you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about the project and your team.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Terry. So we are Bad Bears. We are a collection of 5,555 NFTs living on the Ethereum blockchain. We started getting into the crypto space last year around this time. It's myself, Tony, and I have two other active partners, Rob and Joe. We started off with launching a token. And the reason we launched a token is because we had gotten screwed over multiple times by other projects, whether it was a shitty developer, a scam, or just some other slip up, purposefully designed to be a pump and dump or something like that. So we were just hanging out, just all of us, just sipping on a beer, and we realized that we had all of the skill sets necessary to actually do our own thing, on the blockchain. And so we decided to launch a token. That token was called Mishka. We called it Mishka because every single one of the founders, they had a pet, whether a dog or a cat, named Mishka. And Mishka stands for baby bear in Ukrainian or Russian. I'm Ukrainian myself. Okay. And so we fired up this token, and we experienced tremendous growth at launch, but then we kind of didn't know what we were doing after that. We didn't realize that the real hard work starts after you launch. And so a few months passed, and we kind of looked back at what we had learned from that experience, and we wanted to step into the NFT space. And so we started brainstorming different ideas for what kind of animal it is, what kind of art style, exactly what the vision was, all this stuff, and we came up with a bear. And so Bad Bears was born around September, October of last year. So we started development of the contract, of the art, the vision, all of that. We like to think that Bad Bears was incepted off of the chip of the shoulder of the degen, because in the crypto space, it really is the Wild West, and it is dangerous. And most people have gotten burned at least once with some kind of scam or some accidental something, that kind of thing. So Bad Bears, if you look at the art, they have this kind of seasoned look to them, just slightly jaded, but experienced. Yep. And so that's kind of the energy that we went into the space with, is to kind of show that we've been there, we've done that, and also they're bears, and they're cute bears too. So they're fluffy, they're kind of lovable, and people, it's a friendly introduction for a lot of newbies into the space. So that's kind of how it was incepted. Yep.
Yeah. At the same time, they're not going to be messed with. So on that as well, there's a bit in your white paper where creating a safe haven. So a particular part that you note in your white paper and on your slogan on your website: these bad bears are seeking revenge against the cash grabs that continue to plague the crypto space. They will achieve this goal by acting as an educational community centric safe haven for crypto enthusiasts. So, yes. So exactly what you've just put forward, you've instilled in the white paper as well, with a slight sense of humour, but a meaning to what Bad Bears is going to create in the space.
Yeah, so that safe haven that we're referring to is the community, which is one of the pillars of Bad Bears. If you visit the Bad Bears Discord, everybody's very friendly. They're not really bad bears. It's like a big family in there, and that's the consistent feedback that we get is that it's just warm and it's friendly, and and it's really, really nice for newbies to come in. Everybody's super helpful. We make it easy for people to jump into the blockchain with guides, with one-on-one help, and with some pretty crazy innovation like low gas mints and gasless transactions, which we can jump into a bit later.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
that's kind of what I mean by safe haven. Is it's the pillar of the community, and people always come back to it to just feel that warmth.
Man, it absolutely is. It is as well. As soon as you jump in the Discord, you've got an amazing team across different time zones. A question gets asked and it gets flagged quick, be it the community, your team, or you guys, the founders. I mean, you guys are in there all the time, which is fantastic as well. It's nice to actually have the founders in there rather than them hiding behind mods, etc. So that's a great step for sure. So let's stay on the team. So you've got you guys. So obviously, I've done my little check. So you've been a massive entrepreneur for the last sort of 10 years, and that's based more so around marketing. Is that right?
Marketing and UX, so user experience. So on the product side, building a good product, and also marketing itself, with my toes as well in development. Yeah.
And the other two main founders, can you tell us a little bit about them? So we've got, is it Robert and Joe?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just looking at my Discord now, and I just want to echo what you said about the founders and the team being online. Every single founder is on all day long. There's 3 of us, and if you look at the team section, all of the team members are on. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team members that are online right now. We've got 4 mods online. So so everybody's very, very active. So so Rob and Joe are the other partners. Rob can be seen as kind of the person in charge of outreach and building relationships. So he's outward focused. Obviously, on the internals as well, just like all of us are. But he gravitates towards the outward kind of perception of Bad Bears. Yeah. And then there's Joe.
I listened in on Robert the other day on a Twitter space as well. I came across very, very well, and it was great for the project. And is it Miles from the UK? I think he jumped on with Robert as well within that Twitter space. So it was great.
I think it was Benji.
Benji, sorry. So it was Benji that jumped on, and he was on with Robert as well. So it's fantastic hearing him on that Twitter space and getting the word out, and how he carried you guys as a brand as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So he's very good with that. And Joe is a bit more internal focused. Obviously with a big kind of piece like in the project, but his focus is making sure that things underground, everything below the tip of the iceberg is running well, and he handles the financials and the projections for all of the different projects that we do, along with the help of the team, and again, it's not us founders doing everything. Absolutely not. It's the team that helps us do what we need to do, and oftentimes the team and the community inspire us with ideas, and that kind of thing. So it's a big conglomerate of very, very, very talented people working together to make something great.
Brilliant. So in terms of the rest of the team as well, can you give us what about the artist? So how did you find him? How did he get involved?
Yeah, so Scotty is we got really, really lucky with Scotty. We met him last year. He is well beyond his years for his level of skill. We actually hired him straight out of college, like right when he graduated. We were his first employer, and we're still his only employer. And he's consistently pumping out beautiful art. He gets better and better with every single collection. So so we're really excited to reveal the newest collection that we're launching, which is Bee Fren, which is, I do think that it's the next level up from Bad Cubs.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna jump on that in a bit. Thanks, Tony. It's great to know about the team. So the next thing is, what Bad Bears is, the ecosystem, the MSK token. So maybe you could just go over that a little bit with us. Tell us a little bit more about the Bears, the Cubs, and the Serums.
Sure. So we kind of did things a little differently, actually very differently with the way that we launched the Bad Bears NFT collection. So what we did is we actually launched our token first, or actually the version 2 of our token first, called MSK. So now it's called MSK. So we launched that about a week before we started minting Bad Bears. And the first utility of MSK, it's a token on the Ethereum network. If your token doesn't have utility behind it, it's considered a shitcoin, and it's just based off of hype. So we wanted to develop this ecosystem around the economy of MSK. And so the first utility that we had with MSK was for you to be able to pre-mint the Bad Bears, you had to be holding 50K MSK, just holding 50K MSK in your wallet to be auto whitelisted to mint a Bad Bear. And I think it was a max of maybe 2 or 3 or so before for each wallet, because we wanted to make sure that there was, a decent distribution. And so we launched our token first, and then we did the minting of the Bad Bears. And again, that's 5,555 Bad Bears living on the blockchain. So we have every single Bad Bear generates 100 MSK per day. 100 MSK per day. So that's called passive yield. Where that MSK comes from isn't just minted out of thin air like a lot of projects do. It's actually coming from MSK spend. So when people spend MSK for things in the ecosystem, that money goes into the claim wallet to be dripped out to all the Bad Bears. Okay, so that's a big part of the utility of the Bad Bears. Also, as it stands right now, Bad Bears are at the center of the universe. So only if you have a Bad Bear NFT can you mint other NFTs that you can buy. For example, about a month after we launched Bad Bears, we released the Serum. The Serum costs you 80,000 MSK to purchase. And again, that MSK gets put into the claim wallet to be dripped out to holders. About a month ago, we released the ability to apply the Serum to your bear and produce a cub, a bad cub. And what these cubs do is they give you a multiplier effect on the amount of MSK that your bear generates. If you pair them together, it's called a bear pair. So the multiplier is between 2x to 4x per pair. And so shortly after the Cubs, we released staking and staking rewards. And what's interesting about staking rewards is the way that it works is you have your MSK that you purchase, from Uniswap in the pool. If you stake it, you own your share of the MSK that everybody's staking. And I don't want to get too technical here. Percent goes into this pool that gets dripped out to holders, and 20% gets put into staking rewards. And those staking rewards get dripped out every single day to people that have their MSK staked. Right. And so this incentivizes people to not just purchase MSK, but also to hold on to it by staking. And by the way, any purchase within our ecosystem, except for mints, any purchase within our ecosystem is gasless. So if you have it staked, if you have your token staked, any transactions You don't have to pay Ethereum for gas, and it's instant. And so there's a lot of value there that we're building. And as we continue to release more attractive things for people to spend their MSK on, I'm really excited to see what that's going to do to the value of MSK. And it's also very encouraging for holders to know that when they spend their MSK, it's not going into our pockets. It's going into their pockets. It's going right back into the ecosystem to be dripped back out to holders. Yeah. So it's a very unique concept, very interesting economy that we're building.
So with I mean, the whole ecosystem is amazing. It gets more amazing, especially when I deep dive more. I've been a holder since the beginning mint, but you know, the spur to dig deeper, especially having the privilege to jump on with you. So just for people to know, when they've got a bad bet, regardless of the rarity or its features as such, it's 100 MSK per day. The cub itself doesn't earn MSK unless it's paired, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So okay. So then, but that's when the rarities or the fur types then start counting. So you need a certain fur type with a certain fur type of the cub and the bear to multiply them in a special collaboration or a bear pair to create that scale of MSK rewards, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so it's a fun look for finding the right bear pairs, and there's lots of help in Discord to help people with them bear pairs, which I've seen the visuals pop up. So in total, there's 5,555 bears currently at full mint with the serums that have gone out. It's 3,333.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So we've minted out 3,333 serums,
okay.
But we have. The total supply of the cubs is 4,444. We've only minted out 3,333. We've held on to the 1,111 to surprise drop on the community. Yeah.
When's that surprise happening?
It's a surprise.
So the remaining 1,111, they're going to be randomly dropped with no announce. Well, they'll be announced, but with no pre-announcement that they're going to drop, right? So it's going to be random drops.
Exactly. So there's going to be no warning, and we're going to drop them a couple hundred at a time. So you know, the community knows. The community knows that this week at a random time we're going to be dropping those serums. It'll be 202 serums that we're going to be dropping with a couple new variants. And we've done collabs with 4 other projects, including Cosmic Cats, Jungle Bay, Fun Days, and Tribe Kawaka, to create variants specifically for them. And yeah, exactly. And they look really cool. And plus, there's a couple more on top of that people don't know about that yet. But we'll be posting sneak peeks in the Discord.
Awesome. Okay, so but there's also a little bit of scarcity around this, right? Because there's 5,555 bears, but in total there's only going to be 4,444 cubs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's creating a bit of scarcity as well, and grab them cubs while we can. So pairing up the cubs, obviously that's a big part of your ecosystem, because that's how, as holders, it can create value for us, because we can gain the MSK, and what's going to come with MSK with what else is building is fantastic. And then the staking, which was only released, was it 3-4 days ago at the time of this recording, and that's enormous, because once you get your MSK from your MetaMask or your Trust Wallet into your ecosystem, as you said, everything is instant. So I've been reaping my rewards each day. It's a click of a button. There's no transactional signing. It's in there, and it's a split second to restate the rewards that are earned, which is amazing. And there's other chains which are cheaper and people don't flinch too much at a couple of dollars, but for you to create something on the Ethereum blockchain to be as efficient as it is amazing, and I'm sure a bunch of people are going to be wanting to know more about how you do that, and we will jump on that. In terms of the longevity of your project, what do you sort of, I know, and we are going to touch on the other little items that are up and coming. So Bee Fren, I really want to have a chat with you about that. But what's your idea of the longevity of the project over the 6, 12, and 2 years? What's the plan?
Absolutely, yeah. So since we minted out, we've been focused on really developing the systems to allow people to participate with the blockchain without having to go through a lot of those barriers of entry that you experience. It's pretty complicated to get into Web3, to get a decentralized wallet, to fund it, all of this stuff. And what we've been focused on developing is, number one, creating a fantastic community, this safe haven that we talked about, creating a system where you can play within our ecosystem and not have to worry about GWE and gas prices and that kind of thing. So now that we have all of that built, the next step for us is to increase the value, or to increase the utility of MSK. What that means is giving people exciting things to spend their MSK on, right? And all of the MSK that's been sold, all of the MSK that's staked, that people are holding in their wallet, the reason they're holding it in their wallet, or the reason why it's staked, is because they value what the future of that MSK is going to be. They value that more than what the dollar value of that is, right? So that is what we're working on next, is the ability to spend your MSK on hundreds of different things, whether it's IRL stuff, like merch, and that kind of thing. We have a couple really interesting products that we're developing there right now. The metaverse that we're building, being able to plug into our metaverse and earn and spend your MSK instant and gasless. Okay, that does not, as far as I'm aware, I haven't seen a project execute on that successfully. So we're right in the middle of building our metaverse, where you'll be able to plug in and play in there and socialize and play games and earn MSK and spend MSK to get access to other areas and biomes and that kind of thing. The MSK is spent on mints, so the bad cubs that can only be purchased with MSK. And what else here? I've got a list of potential buyables. So white lists to other projects that we vet.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff you can spend your MSK on. And again, all that MSK just gets looped right back around and not only dripped to the bad bear and the bad cub holders, but also a chunk of it is allocated to reward the people that have chosen to stake their MSK. And you only really stake your MSK if you believe in what we have going on here.
So that's a really interesting bit about the whitelist. So is there anything in the pipeline, or anyone that you're collaborating with at the moment that you could elaborate on or head towards, if names can't be said yet?
Sure. Yeah, I can't tell you what those projects are, but we have two projects that we're discussing selling the whitelist for. It'll be for MSK only, and it'll be something affordable, but it will be a low supply, because we can't just give out 100 whitelists for this project. But consistently, projects will be able to come to us and be like, hey, we've got 20 whitelists for you. Do you want these for your community? And now we just plug it into our store. People can jump in there, shop around, and kind of read the description. Oh, I'd like to buy this whitelist. They buy it, gets instantly transacted, and they're whitelisted. The MSK gets transferred out of their allocation, and it's done. There isn't a gas fee you have to pay to send your MSK. There isn't a waiting time. It's yours.
Amazing, exciting as well. So is that plugin going to be something that'll be mirrored between BearTopia, which we're going to talk about in a minute? Is that going to be something within the metaverse, or is it going to be something on the website, or a bit of both for those that maybe don't want to go into the metaverse and have a walk around?
Yeah, so the metaverse is really, really exciting. It'll be a big thing that we launch, and we're right in the middle of building it right now. It's a giant continent called BearTopia. The
Yeah.
continent is about 4.1 million square meters in explorable land. Okay, that's just that plane, the horizontal plane of land. We're going to have caverns and caves and tunnels and different secret areas that you could explore and discover. We're going to be selling property in MSK that you can go in, you can buy this plot of land, you can get a house on there, and you can hang your NFTs on the wall, kind of decorate it as you please. And also you can rent it out. You can rent it out to somebody and they pay you in MSK.
Okay.
There's going to be items and different things you can wear, all purchasable in MSK. Perks, so you have different abilities to access different areas, all purchasable, in MSK. And this continent that we're building, it's the proof of concept for what we're planning to do in this metaverse, which is potentially have multiple continents. So
Okay.
imagine multiple projects on our system. They have their own continents. We can develop portals between the different continents, so you can visit that kind of thing. And so it's something that our slogan is build and explore together. And so we really want to involve the community in the building and the development of this.
So as we're on, I mean, it's so exciting. So while we're on the subject of BearTopia, then what's the main goal of BearTopia? What are you going to have a HQ there? Is there going to be shops there? There's mentions in Discord and in your white paper as well about the possibility. Correct me if I'm wrong about the white paper. Possibility about people creating businesses within the space. Is that a business as in me, myself, let's just say it's Crypto Matthews wanting a little radio station or alike, or are you talking about collaborations where businesses can come in a bigger scale, say artists, musicians, events, football games and stuff along that line, and what makes BearTopia so much different than all the other metaverses that are developing at the moment?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that we want to develop within BearTopia is an economy. An economy where you can spend your time in there and you can earn MSK for your time. Ideally, what we have is a system of supply that needs to get filled. There's a demand for a supply, and so you have to have a broker or a seller. You have somebody curating that supply, actually going out and just for example, something like chopping down wood to provide the wood to the contractor, which the contractor can sell to the builder, which builds the home that the home buyer purchases.
Okay.
Right? So that's a loop like that. And so that at the core of it, that's what we want to develop, as well as just have different games throughout the land and constant updates. So if you look at a picture of BearTopia, I'm just going to pull it up here. If you look at a picture of BearTopia, you'll see that a lot of it is undeveloped land. There's a central area, which is where the capital is going to be. There's a big mountain in the shape of a bear embedded into a giant mountain range. Behind the mountain range, there's a volcano, and there's also a secret cove / desert area that's going to be inaccessible for a while until we open that up. On the other side, you've got jungle, you've got plains, you've got a lake, you've got forest, more desert, beach, swamp. All of these areas are going to be developed over time. All of these areas will be upgraded with updates that we're going to do to create more explorable kind of areas and different games for people to play. There's also going to be an area that we're going to develop called the Anarchy Desert.
Wow.
The Anarchy Desert is kind of like a traditional Minecraft experience where you can go and do whatever the heck you want.
Okay. So like a free play as such.
Exactly.
Okay. So what about the what's obviously the NFTs, crypto, trust wallets, MetaMask, and stuff like that? What's you're going to be? Because there's so much education that can be brought from BearTopia and metaverses, etc. So where would you see yourself in terms of not limiting the age, but starting the age? So not that there's no limit to who can get involved, but what about the starting age and how the metaverse could maybe educate the younger generation that are maybe starting out in crypto? Is there platforms that you're planning to be more accessible on in terms of phones, pads, and obviously the current way of laptops and PCs?
Yeah. So the beautiful thing, and I love that you asked that question, because I think this is a major untapped space. You've got billions of video game players in the world playing video games all day long, all around the world.
Yeah.
Our BearTopia is built on top of Minecraft. Minecraft has a couple 100 million active users every single month, players in there. They understand how to use the controls. They have it on their system. Minecraft is cross-platform. You can play it on your Mac, PC, Xbox, PS4, Nintendo Switch, your phone, even your iPad. So it's cross-platform, which is amazing, right? And the way that we're developing BearTopia is we want to make sure that we attract these players to what we have going on here. So somebody's going to open up BearTopia, and they're going to start to explore. Oh, this is cool. Okay, what's this little game here? They play the game, and they earn some MSK. They're going to earn a couple hundred MSK. Oh, that was cool. They're going to play another game. Now they have a couple thousand. Now they buy an item, and they go chop down some wood or some ore, and now they have, I don't know, a couple 10,000 MSK. And then it's, and then they realize, okay, MSK is actually a token. It's got real world value. What is this? I've been hearing about the blockchain, the crypto Ethereum. What is it? Like, how do I, cash out my MSK, or like, how do I, kind of participate a little bit more? And so the natural progression is they fall in love with BearTopia, and they're curious about bad bears and the blockchain and crypto. And so naturally, they're going to want to learn about it. So we're going to present them with the information, the education that they need to set up a MetaMask wallet, to plug in the Discord, to do this, that. When you can give somebody a helping hand to progress in life or to learn a valuable skill, they're going to be loyal to you, and they're always going to be talking about you. And so we want to give a helping hand to the millions of gamers, billions of gamers around the world to get introduced into blockchain by way of fun. And that's kind of the future of BearTopia, is to create this this channel for people to explore BearTopia, learn about bad bears, crypto, and plug in and always be their safe haven, always be a place they can come back to, because it is the Wild West out there. It is scary. It's going to be a couple more years until the crypto space is a bit more regulated and safe and that kind of thing. So we always want to be a safe haven that people can come back to, feel the warmth, just kind of warm around the fire a little bit, reconnect with their friends in the community, and and participate, because that creates loyalty.
Absolutely, yeah. So and it's such a good way as well to educate in fun and game, and I can see already. I've got ideas buzzing in my head, but you can tell that there's so much that you've got open to you, and the audience that you can approach as well, while giving to the community and educating within your project, which is awesome. In regards to when we were talking about the gas list side of things, one of questions that came, because I don't want to leave this till the end. One of your community asked a question. With the failure of Yoga Labs that dropped, just before we go way off the scale in terms of talking about gasless and how you've made your ecosystem. I know we touched on BearTopia, which is amazing. I'm just wondering if you learned from any of the mistakes that Yoga Labs made in trying to mitigate that in your own project before launching, and maybe you could touch on, you know, what you learned from that and why it becomes so important for you to create the gas problem obsolete almost.
Sure. Yeah, I want to preface with saying that we love Bored Apes. We love Yuga Labs. We own a Bored Ape, and we love the community there. To answer your question about what we've learned from, I guess you could call it their mistake. Maybe it's a mistake, and I'll touch on that, in a bit. This might sound arrogant. I don't know if it does, but we actually didn't learn anything because we didn't run into that mistake. We purposefully made sure to avoid that exact problem that they experienced, which is high gas fees. Okay, yeah. Yuga Labs, either they did it on accident or on purpose. They burned, I think it was like $180 million worth of gas in Ethereum to mint out their collection. That's absurd. There's two very simple things they could have implemented with their contract that would have cut their gas fees down significantly. And we actually implemented that into our contract way back in January. We were the first, if not one of the first Ethereum NFT contracts to implement these new best practices, and people were experiencing gas fees to mint a bad bear for as low as $4 or $5 per mint, at Gwei being 100. That's unheard of, but it was so obvious to us that we needed to take care of our holders and offer low gas fees. And so we put a lot of our focus on that, okay, what can we do? What can we innovate? What can we research to make sure that our contract is kick-ass? And it absolutely was. People were very, very impressed. And so to answer your question in a nutshell, I do wish that Yuga Labs would have implemented these best practices. And I don't know if they just maybe didn't know, or maybe they kind of just sped through it and skipped over it, or maybe if there was potentially some ulterior motive behind that, but I don't want to get into that.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, and that's what you've done for the community has been massive. I mean, I think my first two bears that I've done, I think I paid something like $11 for both bears. It may have actually been a little bit lower than that, actually. And then if I mint something, normally, if I watched the blockchain, I would allow between $45 up to $110 I would put aside. And if it was above that, I personally wouldn't mint anyway. But that to mint my two on that day and pay $11 was astonishing. I thought something was wrong. I actually even closed it and reopened up the MetaMask again, where it gives the estimated gas fees, and thought there was a problem, or I hadn't selected the right object, or something along them lines. So yeah, I mean, for me, normally I don't. It's around $50, $110. I wouldn't pay more, but the gas fees are astronomical normally. So it's amazing and how you've whittled that down, and I think that helps. It helps a project for the fees to be lower, and you guys have absolutely nailed that, which is amazing.
Thank you.
So, well, to you, you've done it. You mentioned at the beginning, there's other bits I want to go on to. You mentioned at the beginning that you're from Ukraine yourself. and you guys have been trying to support Ukraine as well. So I'm just wondering if we could touch on the aspect of your project and how you've been trying your best to help in the scenario that's tragic and just devastating, really. And it must be more so for you. And just wondering if you could touch on what Bad Bears is doing and done for Ukraine.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is a big topic for me because obviously I'm a Ukrainian. I was born in Ukraine. My family were refugees in the 90s. Fled to the U.S. in about 1994, and we started with nothing. My father came to the States with 6 children, a wife, 2 bags of clothes, and $400 in his pocket, and not speaking the language, and just had a very basic skill. And so, but he was a hard worker, and he worked very hard to provide for his family. And the 6 children, eventually turned to 8 children. And so, to see what's going on, in the Ukraine is very hard because it's kind of, it's close to what my parents and my grandparents went through. And my parents right now, they've just taken in a family of refugees from the Ukraine, so they're helping out that way. They're donating a car to them as well, so giving them a place to stay, in a car, and just kind of helping them get them on their feet, just like we had a family help us get up on our feet. I've personally donated money to the Ukraine. One of the partners has a couple restaurants, and he created dishes at those restaurants where all of the profit from that goes directly to the Ukraine.
Wow.
What we decided to do with Bad Bears here is for the Cubs that we revealed last month, there are 2 variants for the NFTs that you could randomly get. One is a background called Fields of Wheat, and the other is a Ukraine flag draped over the Cub.
Yeah.
And what we decided to do is to donate the royalties for the month of April and May, and potentially longer, all the royalties generated from Ukraine-themed Cubs to the Ukraine. And so right now, as it stands, we have 1.83 in Ethereum that we've generated for the Ukraine, which is about just a little bit over $5,000. We're likely going to continue this campaign because we want to take advantage of the volume that's about to come into Bad Bears to help those out there. So that's one way that we're helping out, just doing every bit we can.
Awesome. Yeah, no, and it's devastating. But yeah, I mean, everyone's just doing what they can as best as they can. And I understand the subject's quite close to you as well. So good on you guys. It's an amazing thing to do, an amazing gesture. So moving on, Tony, can we find out a little bit more about Bee Fren and what it is and why it's coming into your ecosystem? I'm quite excited about it, but the information's it's low, so I'm hoping maybe that we could grab a little bit more from you during this interview and excite people even more. And is there an expectation on dates? Is there a little bit more clues, or is it another cryptic random drop that's going to come about? I'll be excited to know a little bit more.
Yeah, so Bee Fren is a top secret project we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and it's a collection of 8,888 bees. It will be a part of the Bad Bears ecosystem that we built.
Yeah.
And it's really, really exciting because first and foremost, it's free. It's a free mint.
Okay.
Free mints exist out there. They're fairly common. But what's special about this is a couple of things. Number one, the art style of these bees, if you can see them back here, the art style of these bees is very different than what's out there. We specifically wanted to create something that's different. It's different than what's out there to catch the attention of people in the space. And so that's number one. Number two, the founders of the Bad Bears project, and actually every single team member, is completely doxxed, where our identities are disclosed, which is becoming a more common thing to do, but it's not it's not very widespread. So it's a free mint. Okay, so it's going to attract a lot of people that don't know about Bad Bears. And what's beautiful about that is the bees generate honey, 2 honey per day, HUNNY, 2 honey per day. The utility of honey hasn't been revealed yet. That's still top secret. And I mean, my partners are going to hunt me down if I tell you what it is, so I can't tell you right now. But we are going to be revealing that soon. So the 2 honey per day per bee is what you get. The way that it plugs into the Bad Bears ecosystem is, so to go back a little bit, the cubs, they have a multiplier effect between 2x to 4x. When you pair the cub with a bear, you multiply the amount of MSK that the bear generates.
Yeah.
Same thing applies with the bees. So so you can pair up to 2 bees per cub to multiply the amount of honey that your bee generates. Honey is an off-chain token. It's not like MSK. You can't trade it for Ethereum or for USDC. It's an off-chain token. And we're excited because most free mints do not launch with utility. We're going to be launching with utility, which is exciting. It's free. And this honey that you generate is going to be extremely valuable, and there's going to be multiple uses to it. So we're going to be revealing that over the coming days and weeks. So as far as launch date, very soon. The art is pretty much done. Right now we're building the utility behind it. So we expect to be finished by the end of this month.
Awesome. Okay, so that's exciting. So in terms of it being a free mint, is that a free mint to anyone? So whether you hold a bear already, whether you have a cub, so any outsider, can they come in and grab the bees, or do you need to be holding a bear or a cub already?
Any outsider can go in and grab the bees. There's going to be a limit to how many you can grab, and our bear holders are going to be on the bee list, which is the pre-mint for this. So they can guarantee to be on it. And by the way, like we talked about before with our contract, it's a free mint and it's low gas. Like, like that's a no-brainer. I mean, who's not going to want to jump into this? Because I mean, just imagine that. Like it's a free mint. There's 8,888. It's a free mint, and it's on top of a proven project with doxed founders and a community and utility and innovative technology behind it, and on top of that, it's launching with utility. Yeah, it's like it's really, really exciting for us because it's going to bring a lot of eyeballs to the project. So that's Bee Fren.
Get everyone buzzing. So in terms of so there's 8,888, which is obviously 2 per bear. So technically there should be enough bees per bear per cub.
Yes.
Per cub. Is there going to be limits on what you can mint? So let's say, for instance, I've got 1 cub and I buy 10 bees. How are you going to? You can't make it entirely fair, but is there going to be a limit per wallet? Is there a limit on the pre-mint for us current bear holders? Just a little bit more around that, please, Tony.
Sure. Yeah. So yes, there will be a limit because we want to make sure that we have enough supply for everybody. So it's not going to be 10 bees per. We're going to reveal the details as far as really how much you can mint, and whether or not it's per wallet or per bear or per cub.
Okay. And will these drop in one go?
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to have the pre-mint first for the B list, and then once that's done, it'll be a short period of maybe 24 hours or so, and then we'll open up the public mint, and we'll make sure that we have plenty of bees for the public mint. So anybody can jump in, just connect your wallet, make sure you have just a little bit of Ethereum in there for some gas, and get to minting.
Awesome. Okay, so the Bears being on the bear list are gonna the B list, is gonna give us current holders a chance basically to grab them. So in terms of the limit in the minting, let's say I had, I don't, but say I had 10 cubs. What's the chances of me being able to get my bees for my cubs?
So if you have, so if you have 10 cubs, you ideally want to have 20 bees, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So there's going to be a limit to the amount that you can mint, again, because we want to make sure that we reserve enough for the public.
Yeah.
But I would say the best thing you can do is mint as much as you can, and we're going to have opportunities for you to mint the maximum amount. There's we may offer a couple of hoops to jump through for you to be able to unlock those additional freebies. Freebies. So all of that's going to be revealed over the next coming days and weeks.
Awesome. Okay, it's fantastic. Looking forward to it for sure. I did want to touch on, and I wanted to check with you about the inner circle. Can we talk about the inner circle and the amount of bears you can hold with it?
Sure. Yeah. So the inner circle is our top tier alpha group. So to rewind just a little bit, every bad bear that you hold has utility. Every cub has utility. When you jump into our Discord and you connect your wallet, and if you hold at least one bear or at least one cub, you get access to different channels that just the regular member doesn't have access to, including the DAO and a few holder specific channels. The next tier up from that is something called the inner circle. The inner circle, you have to be holding 6 bears or 6 cubs as of today's date, which is May 3rd. 6 bears or 6 cubs to get access to the inner circle. And the inner circle is it's a private chat as well as an alpha group where some pretty solid calls have been made both for NFTs and for tokens. I believe the number that was quoted, I think it was last week, the number quoted of total profit generated, I think it was over the last 4 weeks or so. Total profit generated between our members was, I believe this is the number. I think it's 20 to 30 ETH amongst the members, and there's only about I think like less than 200 inner circle members. So the calls that are made in there are pretty wild. Like we called this project called 8-Bit Me at what number was that? I'm trying to find it here. The 8-Bit Me was called, I think, at like 0.08 or something like that. 0.08 ETH, and I think it's I believe right now it's bumping up to close to 1 ETH per. Yeah. So that's insane, right? That's it's insane return, and that's just one project. There's a couple others in there, Wave Catchers, Los Muertos, a few others that we've been calling in there, and it's great. And there's also so Inner Circle can sometimes get alpha about the project itself before the general public hears about it. So it's a cool vibe in there. It's very exclusive. 6 bears or 6 cubs to be a part of it as of right now. So yeah.
I recently got in there. I up my bear collection to get in there. I've been drifting around and listening in. Everyone in there is so friendly. It just replicates in enormosity what's in the normal Discord times 10. So you've got guys giving up their time in there to give calls and input to potentially make us money. So yeah, it's an awesome sound group. Everyone in there is great. Couldn't be more helpful, especially when I joined in and was asking a few very basic questions. So yeah, so make it clear as well though, which I wasn't myself from my own fault, but it's not a combination between Cubs and Bears, is there? It has to be 6 of one or 6 of the other to get in, right?
As it stands right now, it's
Yeah.
6 Bears or 6 Cubs,
Yeah.
and the main reason we're doing that is because of the limitations of the tech that we're using to verify your wallet holdings.
Yeah.
We may be working on our own wallet verification system that just gives us more
scope
control over that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Tony, thanks for all the information so far, and I'm excited for the proposal and the giveaway that you've announced for us. As a thank you for those that are watching and taking part. So maybe you could just tell us about what Bad Bears is going to give away to the community, and hopefully the new community that is hopefully going to join Bad Bears and its journey.
Cool. Yeah. So what we'd like to give away is a couple different prizes. Number one, we want to give away a bear pair. A bear pair is actually 2 NFTs. It's a bear and a cub. The bear generates 100 MSK per day, and the cub is a multiplier. So in your wallet, if you create the bear pair, then you get the multiplier on the MSK, and you can participate in the ecosystem, all of that. So so we're giving that away. In addition, we'd like to give away 5 B-list spots for our Bee Fren's mint. There's going to be a B-list and the public mint. And you want to make sure that you secure your bees, because public is going to be pretty crazy. I can't guarantee that you'll be able to secure in public. So we have some B-list slots allocated for giveaways such as this. So we'd like to give 5 away to the watchers of the Crypto Matthews channel.
Amazing, Tony. It's an enormous gesture, especially with the small floor price of the Bears alone, and then pairing them together. And actually, you're giving away a passive income. It's amazing. Tony, I much appreciate it. I just want to leave it with you, and then maybe if you just give us your final thoughts before we leave. And I can't wait to jump back into Discord and get on with the community.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Terry. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to jump on here anytime in the future to just kind of touch base and see how things are going. I love having you as a holder. You've been with us for a long time. I'm glad you believe in the project. Every single holder believes in the project, and it's the biggest challenge that we have as a team is it's not innovating, it's not building technology, it's not the community, it's how do we really properly encompass everything that we're doing in a way that people can understand. And the holders that are in the project that really, really understand, it's a no-brainer to them that we're extremely undervalued right now. And it's just a matter of time until this project really jumps up and gets the recognition that it deserves. I mean, everything we talked about today with the cohesive ecosystem that we have, with the MSK economy, with the metaverse we're building, and the gasless functionality that we have is just it's a no-brainer. For me, everybody on the team, and our holders. So so I encourage you to jump onto the website, badbears.io, learn about what we have going on. Check out the white paper, docs.badbears.io, docs.badbears.io. Scan that. It's got detailed information about how the Bears work, the Cubs, the Bees, the NFT prize pool that we're giving away. We're giving away a ton of high value NFTs to our holders. And so there's all that information in the docs, in the Discord. I think you really enjoy it. But again, it's our job is to communicate this project effectively and be able to be concise with everything that we're doing, and also make it fun and interesting. So check us out, badbears.io. Plug in. You're going to get a warm welcome in the Discord. And again, Terry, thank you so much for hosting myself and Bad Bears. And
Tony, you're amazing. Thank you very much. I'll drop all the links and all the important information in the comments below. Guys, jump in their Discord. Just go and say hello. No one's telling you just to go and buy it. Jump in the Discord. Make up your own decision. Check out that white paper, as Tony has said. Do your own research for sure. No one's a financial advisor here. I definitely am not. Do your research, and I'm sure you'll fall in love with it. Thanks, guys.